So our panel today is with 3 inspiring leaders. Their businesses are in our startup program, and they've successfully built on Google Cloud with us. So I want to introduce you to Mike Wiacek, who is the CEO of Stairwell. Also, Jebrini, who is the CTO of Mashvisor. And finally, Michael Ermolenko, who is the CTO of Inworld AI. So before I start with questions, I really want to understand, for you, if you can tell us a little bit about your business. So we are going to start with you. Yes, so yes, go for it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Wiacek, CEO and founder of Stairwell. We are a cybersecurity company that is tackling security challenges differently. Billions and billions of dollars every year are spent on cybersecurity. And is there a day that goes by that we don't hear about yet another breach or yet another compromise? I mean, I think all of us in this tent, I would say room, but all of us in this tent probably have 8 to 10 lifetimes of credit monitoring services for all the times our data has gotten leaked in the world. So all of the money we spend on security doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference. The bad guys know our defenses better than we do. And that's the premise that we're seeking to change with Stairwell. We are a unique type of cybersecurity company where we try and treat every file on every computer as potentially malicious. We save it, we store it, and we process it in the cloud so that we can always go back and detect things as being bad, even if we don't know that they're bad today. We're removing time from the equation, which is a totally really exciting way to start thinking about cybersecurity.
That's amazing, Mike. Thank you so much for sharing with the audience. Yes. And same question for you, Michael.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, CTO and co-founder of Inworld AI. Our company builds a creative suite for building AI characters. So imagine an NPC or virtual character in game with whom you can talk to about anything. You can do whatever you want together. And so you can build these virtual characters just in no time, in a few minutes, using our platform. And these characters, they will have memory, they will have some behavior, they will have emotions, and it builds some attachments to the game. So it's our second startup. Previous startup was acquired by Google. It's Dialogflow, one of the most popular conversational AI platforms. And yeah, so it has several million users. So I hope we will soon have much more. And we, thankful to Google Cloud, we already exhausted all our credits because we are growing very fast. In a year, we built our beta platform. We built a team of over 40 people. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. And Mo, same question for you.
Thank you. So Mashvisor actually here for every one of us who want to get into real estate investment. It's very hard at the beginning to find the location. Most of us looks for 20 miles maybe or in the same city. So Mashvisor came to remove all these limitations for us to find investment opportunities. Not all of that, but we also have nationwide coverage where we find the best ROI for you. We tell you what's also the best strategy that you have to invest in, whether it's if you go with short-term, such as Airbnb or other long-term investment opportunities. And you will be able to monitor also all your investment properties on the platform and keep up with the market all the time with those smart analytics. We have streamlined, automated all these information in one platform to make it easy access in a few minutes, to reducing 3 months or 4 months of research for real estate investors to get into this and make a decision.
That's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much. So I'm going to kick off with questions. I will start with you, Michael. So what steps can founders take to get the concept off the ground?
Okay, thank you. So I've been lucky to launch dozens of different projects, so I have some understanding what helps you to launch off the ground. So of course you need to build fast, iterate quickly, don't be afraid to make mistakes, fail fast. But if you really want to succeed, you need an amazing team. You need a team consistent of strong people who can execute it. So like how people affect, so like the right person, it can produce like 100 times, 1,000 times more impact than like just someone else. So like if you have a choice between hire someone now or like wait and find someone later, it's worth wait. So what kind of people I'm looking for to help take off? So first of all, these people should see a whole picture. So, and identify what's the most important right now. Under Pareto principle, like if you think and be smart by applying it, you can multiply several times your productivity. And when your team grows, this effect compounds and multiplies. So also, I look for people who can see problems under different angles, and they can quickly find out solutions for these problems. So under constraints, you need to be very creative to do this. Also, maybe like final thing is I'm looking for people who wear multiple hats and don't afraid to do everything is needed. So what's right? What should we do right now? Not what I like to do, but what's needed for company. And like there are many, many things, but overall, I think you should trust your gut. Like see if there is something special in these people. Is it easy to communicate with them? Do they share your vision? And yeah, that's a great team. Like it's, I don't know, it's a 90% of your success.
This is amazing. I'm going to summarize this. Invest in a strong team of people who can wear multiple hats. That is great advice. Thank you, Michael. And Mo, this is the question for you. How can startups scale quickly?
So it starts, as Mike said here. So at the beginning, you need those people who are the type of a figure it out. Right, but as soon as you are in, you find the market fit, you start to gain some attractions and you grow, you need to find the scale people. And once you also start hiring and adding more to your team, there is more challenges that pops up between you as an executive team or as a founders and between also the low-level engineers or whatever you are working on by adding those directors. And there is the problem that I call it the hidden agendas that exist with those directors that you should technically make sure that you are on control with. So that's the first thing. Make sure that also you are agile by making sure that you are testing a lot. It's all about experiments. Make sure that you, every quarter, you do 2 to 3 experiments, attach it to objectives and key results and KPIs. Make sure every single team member at your member is attached to those OKRs. Make sure that you have also every couple of weeks, every 2 weeks, every 1 week, an inspection session with an open discussion with full transparency to understand what's the situation, what's the changes, what do we need to do. And every couple of months, you will find that you are growing, you are scaling. Startups life, it's all about ups and downs, and you have to make as much ups as you can so you become a unicorn.
Yes, this is incredible. So no hidden agenda and lots of experiments.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and for you, Mike, the next question. How can startups turn roadblocks or failures into innovative solutions?
Why do I get the negative question? You know, nobody starts a startup and says to themselves, this is going to be easy and I'm going to be ridiculously successful.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a journey. It goes, there's up days, there's down days. But when you hit those roadblocks and you hit those failures, your success is almost, I believe, preordained the day you decide to do a startup. You go into the startup, you go get some funding, you maybe self-bootstrap, but you do that with an internal sense of positivity and optimism. And you have to hold on to that no matter how hard things get. I don't think, we did not plan for the economy to take the turn that it did earlier this year. I don't think anyone did. Like, things were pretty good last year at the end of the year in terms of fundraising markets and all of that. And so as the world goes on doing what it does, being random and trying to produce challenges, you have to stay glass half full at all times. Like any single challenge that you have, someone can make a mistake and send your customer spreadsheet out. They hopefully don't, but they share it too broadly. And you have to ask yourself, like, that sucks. There's no way around it. Yes. But what do I do from this? What is the lesson that I can learn? What are the processes that I can improve? Because when you are able to go out and always view these challenges and trials and tribulations not as, existential risks, even though they may be, but you keep that passion and optimism that you had when you got that first term sheet, that's what carries you through. Because the journey is long, there's ups and there's downs, but look for people who can support you, coach you, mentor you, and guide you. But always personally, you have to hold on to that sense of optimism to carry you through those challenges. And when you build out your first team and you hire those first people, you want people who will amplify that behavior, because that starts establishing a culture which carries the entire team through those trials. No matter how much optimism you may have as a CEO or a CTO or a founder, you have to build that across your entire team. And so that's where those people who are not just technically smart, but become torchbearers for your culture, they're the ones that actually help you get successful long term.
This is so inspiring. Positivity, optimism, hire people who also have that train of thought so that they can amplify your business and find the lessons from your mistakes.
Always.
Always.
There's no blame in mistakes, right? Every mistake is an expensive lesson. Don't throw the lesson away casting blame. That's the most important part.
Every mistake is an expensive lesson.
Yep.
I'm going to write that down. Thank you. And then I'm going to move to our last question, and it is for all of you. So what are your top tips, top 3 tips, yes, or top tip, to avoid the stereotypical pitfalls of startups? Who wants to go first?
I would go first. I will have 3 tips for them.
Thank you, Mo.
So I hope that you don't translate it in the wrong way. The first one is listen to your investors, but don't listen to your investors. Second one, listen to your customers, but also don't listen to your customers. The third one is count for the sad path the same way you count for the happy path, because you don't want to get down when things turn up. Okay, we make sure that we get up. And for every one of those, you have to evaluate yourself what's wrong and what's right, because you are on the ground, you are on the field, you understand the customers, you understand the product, you understand what's also the vision that you have and the goal that you have. And no one else can judge better than you when it comes to the next move in your strategy. So make sure that you always have these 3 in your head before you do any decision.
Thank you for these tips, Mo. Okay. Michael?
I'll go. This is advice I got early on. It was actually the day that we shook hands with our first VC and raised money, and our partner gave this to me. And it is the only piece of advice that I've ever gotten that has never driven me wrong.
Okay.
When I've ignored it, it's driven me wrong. So there's an expensive mistake that I made a couple of times. And it's this. When you start off, you're maybe 1, 2, 3 people in your founding team. You start the company, and then you have to figure out what you're doing. You have all hands meetings, you have this, and eventually you're going to be 50 people, right? We're close to 50 people in our companies right now. And you have to ask yourself, when you're small, how will my company work when I'm 50 people? What is it going to do? How are we going to have all hands meetings? If the question is like, I would like to have a slide deck and a format that will follow through when we have those meetings, this is going to sound stupid. Start doing it right away. Operate today the way you think you should be operating when you're successful down the line. Don't sit down and say, oh, we're small, we'll do this now.
Yeah.
It sounds really strange, but when you start thinking about that, like what would I do if I had 50 people or 100 people? What would I be doing differently? Why would you wait? Like, you know, embrace that. Again, set that culture and that mindset that you're forward looking. You have that positivity. It's not, will I be here when I'm 50 people? No, I'm going to be here when I'm 50 people. What should I be doing today to operate like that?
Yes.
That successful mindset is going to breed success down the line. And so you really have to capture that. A second tip would be, you know, find people who are going through this. Being a founder of a company is a lonely job. There's a lot of people in the Bay Area who are also startup co-founders. Share a support group, you know, find people to talk to who are going through the same journeys of like, how do I hire the best people? How do I do that? And then the third tip is don't spend all your GCP credits too quickly because they go fast.
That's a good one.
Can I have more?
Maybe.
We didn't follow your advice.
We got it twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So take us home with your tips.
Yeah, so I will have a final tip is do not listen anyone sitting up here. So like every startup, every business is very different, especially in early stage. So like if you're building something truly transformational, so there is no blueprint for success. So like no tip, so any tip may be fatal for you. So that's why you should always balance like feedback and charting your own path to success. So yeah.
These are wise words, everybody. Well, this concludes our panel. I really want to thank you, Michael, Mo, and Mike, for joining me here. And thank you, the audience, yes, for listening. I hope this was helpful for you.